Breaking news from the Masters golf tournament. Tiger Woods has withdrawn from the event because of an injury. Woods was limping pretty badly as he played through the rain on Saturday, and now we know he will not finish the tournament.
Tiger Woods stood in front of reporters after the TGL semifinals just days ago and gave the golf world an update on his Masters status that nobody was fully prepared to hear. Not a confirmation, not a withdrawal. Something in between that honestly felt worse than either of those things. The most important question in golf right now has no answer, and with the Masters just 3 weeks away, that silence is becoming deafening. If you want to stay across every update on Tiger's status before Augusta, hit like and subscribe so nothing slips past you this month. Let's get into exactly where things stand. Cast your mind back just 1 month. Tiger was sitting at the Genesis Invitational at Riviera, and someone asked him directly whether playing the Masters was off the table. His answer was a single word: no. A few weeks later, he told CBS broadcasters Jim Nantz and Trevor Immelman that there was a genuine chance he would be at Augusta, that he would be there to open the patch, attend the Champions Dinner in honor of Rory McIlroy, and hope to tee it up a few days after that. For a golf world desperate for good news on Tiger, those words landed like a lifeline. That was then, on Tuesday night after Jupiter Lynx defeated Rory McIlroy's Boston Common in the TGL semifinals. Reporters gathered around Tiger and asked for an update. What came back was noticeably different in tone from what he had been saying a month earlier. He said he has been working on it. He said some days are good and some days are hard. He said disc replacement is not a lot of fun. And then he said something that cut right to the core of where he actually stands right now. He has been trying to play in every single TGL match this season. Not just some of them, every one of them. And it has not worked out, not once. Read that again for a second. The man who has been fighting to get back on a golf course cannot yet play in an indoor simulator league where there is no walking, no weather, no physical grind of 18 holes. He has been watching his teammates Tom Kim, Max Homa, Akshay Bhatia, and Kevin Kisner compete while he stands on the sideline in a team he co-founded. When a reporter asked if he might play in the TGL Finals against Los Angeles Golf Club starting March 23rd, he deflected entirely and said he wanted the guys to keep playing and did not want to disrupt the lineup. That is a very careful way of saying his body is not ready for even that. Now consider what Augusta actually demands. 4 competitive rounds, walking 5 to 6 miles per day across one of the most undulating layouts in major championship golf. The physical toll of 72 holes at Augusta National is enormous for a fully fit professional. For a 50-year-old man who has not competed since the 2024 Open Championship at Royal Troon, who has undergone 2 surgeries since that last start, and whose own description of daily life involves days where it is hard to simply move around, the IDIC challenge is almost impossible to quantify. To understand just how serious the situation is, you need to understand the full picture of what Tiger's body has been through. In February 2021, he was involved in a rollover car crash in Los Angeles that shattered his right leg, requiring emergency surgery to insert a rod into his tibia and screws and pins into his ankle. He later admitted doctors had considered amputating the leg. From that crash alone, the recovery took the better part of 2 years before he could compete at Augusta in 2022. In 2023, he needed ankle surgery to address post-traumatic arthritis that had developed directly as a result of the crash injuries. In 2024, he had another back procedure to address nerve issues. In March 2025, he ruptured his left Achilles tendon while training at home, requiring surgery. And then in October 2025 came the news that stopped the golf world in its tracks. A lumbar disc replacement, his 7th back surgery, after scans revealed a collapsed disc at L4-L5, disc fragments, and a compromised spinal canal. 2 surgeries in a single calendar year. Both significant, both requiring extended recovery timelines. Will Zalatoris, who went through disc replacement surgery himself, has spoken openly about how long and unpredictable that recovery process is. Tiger referenced that comparison himself this week, using Zalatoris as the benchmark for understanding why progress is not linear and why some days are dramatically better than others. The brutal math here is unavoidable. The Achilles rupture happened in March 2025. Standard recovery for that procedure alone runs 4 to 6 months at minimum, even for a younger athlete. Then, before that recovery was even complete, he was having his spine operated on in October. The body does not get to reset between procedures. Each surgery compounds the challenge of the one before it. And Tiger himself acknowledged this week that his body simply does not heal the way it did when he was 24. That is not pessimism from a man who has always been relentlessly optimistic about his own recoveries. That is honesty from someone who knows his body better than any doctor and is giving you the real picture. What makes all of this so emotionally layered is that Tiger has earned the right to be believed when he says he is trying. This is not a man coasting toward retirement. He has fought back from a car crash that nearly cost him his leg to win the Masters in 2019, one of the most celebrated moments in the entire history of sport. He has had procedures that would end most careers and treated them as temporary detours rather than full stops. The desire to compete, specifically at Augusta, where he has won 5 times and where his connection to the event runs deeper than any other active player, is absolutely real. And there are clues that at least point toward hope. The official Masters website this week listed Tiger as making his 27th Masters start in 2026, updating the biography page with present tense language and notably leaving his name off the list of past champions not playing. Sharp-eyed fans spotted this almost immediately, and the internet reacted with the cautious optimism that has become so familiar when it comes to Tiger and Augusta. One fan on social media captured it perfectly by writing that they were ready to get hurt again. That sentence alone says everything about what following Tiger's health has felt like for the last 5 years. But a website update is not a confirmation. Augusta National does not remove names from their invitees list until an official withdrawal is submitted, and Tiger has not submitted one. He has also not confirmed he is playing. The gray area between those two things is exactly where the situation sits right now, with the Masters beginning April 9th and less than 3 weeks separating this moment from the first tee shot. This is the 30th anniversary of Tiger's first professional Masters appearance. He played the event as an amateur in 1995, making the cut and finishing tied for 41st. Augusta and Tiger have a connection that runs through every significant chapter of his life. If he walks to the first tee on April 9th, just getting there after everything he has endured in the past 5 years would be one of the most remarkable stories in the history of the tournament. And if he cannot, the weight of that absence would feel very different from any previous missed Masters. The next 3 weeks will tell the story. Every practice update, every report from his training facility in Florida, every word he says publicly between now and the first Monday in April will be dissected in real time by a golf world that desperately wants good news but is slowly being prepared for a different reality. If this is the kind of update you want delivered straight to you the moment something changes, subscribe so the next video finds you automatically. Tiger at Augusta in 3 weeks could be one of the great comeback stories all over again, or it could be the one that does not happen. Which way do you think this goes? Personally, I believe he shows up on the first tee even if his body gives him no guarantees beyond that. Drop your prediction below.